All right, I've been working at home for the past 2 months due to the um, pandemic. And in the past, when I was going into the office, we'd have coffee in the break room or in the cafeteria, and I'd get it there as needed. Now that I'm at home, I don't have a source for coffee, so I decided to try brew my own, and I don't have a coffee pot. So what I've been doing is playing around with the ratios. This is 500 grams of water, which works out about 2¼ cups. And I use a medium roast. What's interesting about coffee is that traditional size of coffee is 6-ounce servings, and the instructions usually tell you 1 rounded tablespoon per 6 ounces of liquid. And rounded is kind of a varied term because your rounding might be different from my rounding. So I ended up using level teaspoon or tablespoons because it's consistent. And each tablespoon I was doing was 5 grams. So this is about 22 grams of coffee, ground up coffee, medium roast, which is for me four level tablespoons plus a smidge just to throw it in, and I use a scale to weigh it. And ideally, the ideal temperature for brewing is between 195 to 200. So I have a thermometer set at 205, and I'll heat the water. And I had coffee filters from a previous experiment, so I decided, well, I might as well start using them instead of buying a coffee pot or whatever, or a Keurig. And I found Keurigs to be kind of weak. And so I have a funnel with the filters, and this cup is not large enough. This is my final drinking cup. And I fill it up to the rim because I drink black coffee. And this is about 2 cups, 16 ounces. So total is about it's equivalent to 3 cups of coffee. So what I do now is I start heating the water until it reaches 205, add the coffee grounds, and then turn it down and try to maintain a temperature of 200 degrees F. And I let it steep for 6 minutes. So all right, the water's over 200 at about 203. I'm going to add the coffee grounds and turn down the heat to make sure it maintains the temperature. So I'll just use the thermometer to just make sure it's all mixed in. That means it's getting warm. Just cover. Set the timer for 6 minutes. And make sure it stays around 200, and if it starts getting hot, I'll move it off the heat. All right, it's been 6 minutes. Try to keep the temperature around 200 plus or minus. So here's how it looks. You can smell the rich coffee aroma. So what I do next is filter it in my little setup here. And it doesn't fit exactly, so I pour slowly. Let me get this within the camera. Then as it gets wet, I rearrange the filter and continue pouring. My little mug here is actually too small for this amount, so I split it in half. Nice coffee aroma, and it's a nice dark black coffee. Unlike sometimes the pods, I think they are a little light to my liking. Let me rearrange this a little more. The filter. And I just pour the rest of the coffee without the grounds. Don't need this. Now I just wipe the that there. My morning routine. Consistency during these times of working at home. And I think this is already 3/4 full, so I just bring it over to the mug and finish it there. And then I'll go wash the pan. All right, the coffee is finished steeping through the filter. I've had a chance to wash the pot and pan, and here's my coffee for the day. It's almost full, but I also wanted to show this is my mug. This is sort of a traditional, oops, I'm wasting coffee, 6-ounce serving, about right there. So this is probably 2.5 or at least twice the serving of a traditional cup. So traditionally 6-ounce serving, then you leave room for cream and sugar. That's the routine that I've been using for the past 2 months to make coffee at home. And recently I just received a French press because I was getting the business for using so many pots and pans. So with the French press, I'm going to play around with the ratios to get the coffee strength that I like. And that's, I guess, what they mean by rounded tablespoon. It's an ambiguous number where you could decide how strong you want the coffee to be.